Hey everyone, it's Joe from Gadgetry Tech, and in today's short video, I'm going to talk about pad swapping your Audeze Penrose or Mobius gaming headset. And the Penrose X is obviously the same thing. They use the same mount. So why pad swap? So some people might want to pad swap just because it has a different flashy print and they want to get something different. Maybe your old pads are worn and look disgusting, or you're just sick of the feel of the leatherette making your ears warm. So my review, this video is very unbiased and I'm very open. I try to use a mix of science, research, and real-world use to share my experiences with everything I cover. So with that being said, I do want to be upfront. You will get a different sound signature anytime you swap pads. So whether it's pad material, pad thickness, or a combination of both, it can negatively or positively impact your sound quality. It just depends on what your preferences are, how your ears are shaped, and obviously the design, etc. So I actually measured this. So I measured the performance of the Audeze Penrose out of the box. I swapped pads, observed a measurable difference, and then I made my own custom EQ profile for the Penrose to restore it closer to the original sound to compensate for the pad variance there. And I'll have that link in the description below to help you realign in case you got these. Now, these pads were all sent to me from Wicked Cushions, so I do want to thank them for allowing me to cover this. They did give me a custom coupon code, so I'll have that in the description below. Basically, it gets you 15% off any of the pads you buy from their store, whether it's for the Penrose or not. But again, I'm not going to use this video to say you have to buy this. This is guaranteed to make your Penrose better, because that honestly would be disingenuous. In some cases, you may like these stock pads more when it comes to imaging and your treble response. But with that being said, I'll show you the measurements and then you can decide if this is the right thing for you. Now, I want to show you how to pop the pads off the Penrose or Mobius. There's these little tabs that you can see on the side. You can use a butter knife, just be careful. I used to work on cars a lot, so I have a plastic pry panel here, or panel popper. So I'm going to put that in where the clip is and just turn it, and I can pop the little clip, and that'll be easy to remove, and I'll do the same on the other side. And then while I get this off, we might as well look at those beautiful planar drivers, because the Penrose is a pretty awesome, interesting headset. So let's flip that around. So those are 50mm planar magnetic drivers. The issue with the Penrose was never really the sound quality. It's actually been the comfort has been the number one complaint. It's twofold. It has a crazy strong clamp force, and when you wear it with the stock pads, it tends to put pressure on your jawline, and it causes discomfort for a lot of people. I could wear it for a while. Overall, it didn't bother me as much because I get used to it after a bit, but I can tell playing on these compared to other headsets I typically play on that these are more uncomfortable than those. So I was excited at the prospect of these because they are thicker, which means I should get more give to contour around my jawline here, thanks to these gel-infused memory foam cushions. Now they have a sport fabric as well, so this is going to help me reduce heat, again, for longer periods of gaming. And they're thicker, so your ear should never touch the baffle or the driver cover itself. So they have different prints too, just to cover that real quick. I don't want to make it just about science and pad swapping. So from Wicked Cushions, this one's the black camo, and I'll hold that up to the camera so you can see the print. They have really good prints on the website as well, so you can see what they look like. This is the all black, which has that nice like leatherette look, but you still get the memory foam gel, or sorry, the sport fabric up top. This particular one is the Speed Racer, which I really like. It has a nice pop of color to it. And then you have the 90s black, which has kind of a cool print. I have the like this black geometry one from Wicked Cushions that I use on my my Corsair headphones, and they've held up for a long period of time. I haven't taken those pads off. So let's put these on. Now I do want to point out they are driver side specific. You can see the little L on the pad itself. And when you look, so this is the right side and I'm holding L. So let's switch. You want to make sure that you have it upright so the R is pointing towards the top, if you will. And you'll notice that there's 4 little points of contact. That's basically what you want to use to align it. And all I'm going to do is line this pad up. And once I feel like I got it in the right spot, I'm just going to press it in and you should start hearing some clicks. So let's do that. Let's see how close I can get it on the first try. This one was pretty tight because I hadn't used it before. I actually have been using the black camo for a while because I kind of like the stealthy look. So let's put the left one on. Hopefully this one goes a little faster. Okay. All right. You want to make sure it's clicked on all 4 points because you don't want to break the seal or have it come off after a while. And now that it's on, let's put it on. So you're going to notice a couple things. This sticks out a bit farther. These things are a little chunky. Now the original Wicked cushions were thinner, and some people complained that after a while of ownership they would compress. So my only concern I'll have for some people, especially the initial feel, these are thick, and this headband's known for having a strong non-linear clamp force. It has like nothing here, and then you're basically hitting a brick wall. So I did find that after a while, if you stretch it out a little bit, or just wear them for a little bit, they kind of break in and contour, and then that initial like surprise amount of clamp tends to weaken, and it does reduce the pressure for me on my jawline. That was my biggest issue. It wasn't so much, I can deal with higher clamp force because I play in the Stealth 700s, those things like, you know, man hug your head. But this reduced the pressure point right here for me. So that fixed my long-term gaming issue. So let's talk about, I want to show you the frequency response and see what this does to the way the Penrose sounds. Okay, so now we're looking at the measurement of the Penrose X. This is in its stock form without any changes done to the EQ, measuring the right driver. Now when I measure the same driver after swapping to Wicked cushions, you can see the bass actually flattened out. I kind of lost that dip. That was how the pad and the driver was interacting with my measuring rig, the simulated ear. So it may make a slight difference to you, but the bass seemed to be more consistent and flat sounding. The biggest difference that you're going to notice is when you get in the treble. Pads typically impact treble more than any other frequency. And you can see that in the 5K range that there is a little bit of a lift compared to how it came out of the box, while also having a dip in the upper treble region. So as you approach the treble and air region, it's recessed, which is going to make the Penrose sound a little bit darker and a little bit less airy. You might lose some of your soundstage. So when I added my EQ compensation, you can see this orange line here, and let me turn off the stock tune. So the blue is the factory Wicked cushions pad, and then the orange is my measurement. Now it might look like I boosted the bass a little bit. It's kind of a byproduct of what happens when you tune treble as well. I basically closed the gap between the stock tune, which is the green line, and the original sound from the blue line here that I got when I first put the Wicked cushions on. Now this is the Freeze edition, which these thicker ones here, all of these are the Freeze versions. So the EQ tune does fix it, and I brought back some of the airiness. You can elevate the 8K region and the 4K region more if you find that it still sounds a little bit dark. However, I actually liked that this pulled down some of the treble a little bit for me, because even though the Penrose can sound dark with some tracks because of the way the planar magnetic is tuned, there are very specific notes that are a little bit sibilant and ear piercing and sharp. And the Wicked cushions solved a lot of that for me by reducing it and making it sound a little bit darker. So what I did was I EQ'd it to bring it back up to a limit that I enjoyed without bringing any of that sibilance or harshness back from the stock sound. All right, so that wraps up the frequency response. Again, it's not a deal breaker. It does change it. You do want to EQ for it. Just don't be surprised when you put it on and think, hey, it sounds worse to you. I should return the pad. You may not find a tune that you like, so yeah, they do stand by it and you can return their stuff. However, I want to bring this up because it's important to tune with the pad swap to compensate for that, to make sure you're still getting the sound you want while also benefiting from the comfort. Because again, I'm happy that it reduced the pressure here. My biggest issue with the Penrose was this point, which is solved with the Wicked cushions. So anyway, I hope you found the video helpful and maybe it answered any concerns or thoughts you had about possibly pad swapping your Penrose. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see you next time.